From the Mrbeast crypto scam to ishowspeed's paradox incident and the famous hawktuah coin, Coffeezilla has been the internet's detective for a while now, and today we'll be diving deep into scams that were exposed and done by famous YouTubers and what happened with them. Starting off with the biggest YouTuber of all time, Mrbeast. In October of 2024, Coffeezilla posted a video titled Investigating Mrbeast, diving into the recent controversy Jimmy was receiving.
I investigated Mrbeast, who was recently accused of making $23 million with insider trading and scams. I wanted to know the full story, so I reached out to everyone, from researchers to crypto projects, even to Mrbeast himself. And let me say, the story is more complicated than you think.
The scandal centers on accusations that Mrbeast and his associates engaged in pump and dump style tactics, investing early in obscure crypto tokens, hyping those projects publicly, and then quietly selling off their stakes for huge profits, while fans and other investors suffered the losses. Two main reports sparked this investigation, with the first being crypto researcher Soma XBT, alleging that Mrbeast made over $10 million backing low-cap crypto tokens, which later crashed after receiving information from his close circle, mainly KSI.
Polychain Monsters, or PMON, is a project which KSI promoted heavily. Mrbeast did not. But Mrbeast did get in the pre-sale and make a lot of money. And thus, the conclusion is made, it's highly likely Mrbeast made an investment from that insider information of KSI's promotional deal.
The second report came out of a group called Look On Chain that claimed Mrbeast made even more than $24 million through scams and shady deals, using a network of over 50 wallets as well as insider information. The projects in question included Superverse and Eternity, among others, where Mrbeast was an early investor and the projects ultimately went nowhere.
Mrbeast is obviously hugely influential, and he publicly associated himself with the project twice. Once on March 3rd, 2021, and then he interacted a second time on May 12th, 2021. This is much worse. Mrbeast's response, super, and on the day that he's tweeting, he was selling tokens, allegedly. Not only that, he had been selling tokens and continued to sell tokens. In the 72 hours after the May 12th tweet, Mrbeast sold about $200,000 worth of these tokens.
Through the investigation Coffeezilla made, both projects had solid proof of wallet addresses belonging to Mrbeast that involved buying tokens at pre-sale, then selling off just after launch, even when Mrbeast was still publicly promoting them. Unlike the straightforward speculative token of Super, Eternity marketed itself as a charity-driven platform. It even tied in directly with Mrbeast, listing him on their website on the partners and investors page, as well as associating itself with Mrbeast's own charity project, Team Seas.
Mrbeast responds to Eternity Chain saying, "This one will be hype." It's worth noting, once again, about 24 hours before saying this fund wallet purchased over $100,000 of earn tokens in addition to the presale.
But Coffeezilla's investigation revealed that around the same time Mrbeast was promoting the projects, wallets linked to him were quietly dumping tokens.
1 month into this 2-month charity auction, on November 30th, 2021, the Rocket Fund or Beast Fund or whatever you want to call it starts selling huge amounts of this earn token. Allegedly, they sold over $2 million, while the charity itself was still going on.
When Coffeezilla reached out to Mrbeast for comment, he received a statement, not directly from Jimmy, but from his legal team. The statement claimed that Mrbeast had nothing to do with the trades in question. Instead, it pointed out to a professional fund that handled all of his investments. As of today, Mrbeast has not faced any legal consequences, no lawsuits and no investigations. He continues to make content and his audience for the most part has moved on. He was, however, faced with questions about those specific wallets and mainly the Super project on a call with Oompaville, which happened a couple of weeks after Coffeezilla's investigation.
Just replied super to his tweet. I did not tell people to buy super or anything. I just replied super. I just was scrolling Twitter and I replied super, and I highly doubt anyone bought it because they saw me reply super to a tweet. I mean, just to be honest.
Despite the fallout of the Mrbeast pump and dump allegations, Superverse is very much still alive and still trading. As for Eternity, Earn is still active and trading at $1.06 and changed their contracts to Epic Chain, but it still goes by the name of Eternity. Mrbeast moved on from all projects and continued building his YouTube empire without any public statements, but ishowspeed, however, had to publicly apologize and endured a massive outrage from his chat on every stream he did weeks after the incident.
Paradox crypto to the moon.
Paradox crypto to the moon.
Why they keep spamming? Bro, I'm not a scammer, dog. I made a little mistake, that I wish I never did, but I'm not a scammer, bro.
On November the 16th, 2022, ishowspeed hosted a live stream that was initially set up to meet Cristiano Ronaldo and do multiple PS5 giveaways. But this quickly turned into one of his worst streams ever, when the owners of the project called Paradox Crypto completely took over and turned it into a full promotional campaign to rally up Speed's audience to go buy the coin.
Follow Paradox Meta _IO on Twitter right now, y'all. If y'all want a PS5. Ain't that right, Ronaldo? Ain't that right? Paradox Meta _IO.
His chat, however, wasn't buying on the promotion, and they were quick to figure out what was happening and call him out for it.
You sold out. They're using you, Speed. This is just sad.
That is crazy, bro. Like, them comments like that, bro, is making me like, that's crazy, bro. The fact y'all ever make me, like, chat, the fact that y'all y'all just thinking me like that is just crazy. I hate that, bro. Y'all so weird, bro.
The Paradox Metaverse was advertised as an MMO game where the more you play, the more you earn, and its coin, PRDX, was pitched as having astronomical returns. It was obvious that the whole point of the project was not the game or the experience, but it is to pump the coin's value as much as they can so that they can dump later on, making their millions and leaving the project unfinished. The day after the live stream, Coffeezilla immediately jumped on the case and interviewed the founders of the project to get more information.
Advertising 10x to 100x, is that a get-rich-quick scheme? Yes or no?
No.
We have worked day and night for the last year to make this. As you probably know, you've probably done your research.
And frankly, I have to take serious issue with your claim that this is a AAA game. Yeah, this looks like a basic game you designed in Unreal Engine. You don't call yourself an indie game on your YouTube channel and then have the audacity to come on my channel and call yourself AAA.
Through all of this, Speed was caught in the middle as the one that gave Paradox the biggest platform to promote their project to millions of people, dragging his audience into the scam and urging them to invest. But despite all of that, many people defended Speed, saying the owners used him, deceived him, and played him just to take advantage of his platform and promote the project, given he's 17 years old and doesn't know any better.
Why do they keep saying this? Bro, I'm not a scammer, dog. I made a little mistake, you know, that I wish I never did, but I'm not a scammer, bro.
As Coffeezilla later tweeted, ishowspeed is a kid, but this will be a wake-up call. These crypto clowns will exploit anyone to pump their bags. Speed has since moved on, seemingly more cautious. The Paradox coin scheme collapsed before it could really take off, as the wider crypto community labeled it a scam. Within days, Paradox's reputation was in shambles, and by early 2023, Paradox's social media had largely gone silent, and the project effectively died. And another example of someone that disappeared immediately after trying to run a scam is the famous hawktuah girl, Hayley Welch. We all know how Hayley Welch became famous, and suddenly she was getting millions of views and had her own podcast. But that was not enough for her, and she wanted to make a move in the crypto space to further grow her empire and monetize her audience. But that was later revealed to be the worst decision she would make. After teasing the coin release and hyping it up as much as she can, launch day came, and what happened was exactly what many crypto experts predicted. On the first launch hour, the price increased by 900%, and then dropped by 90% an hour later, before crashing down even harder and never recovering, all while Hayley herself was still hyping up the coin.
Today's launch day. Woot woot. My Hawk meme coin is live!
With many people seeing the obvious rug pull that happened, Hayley started defending her project, posting tweets saying they never sold anything, even though 96% of the supply of the coin is being held by one single cluster, meaning her team owns almost all the supply. They then decided to host an X space to discuss what happened, and Coffeezilla was quick to jump on the case with Hayley, confronting her about everything that was wrong with the coin to try and figure out what went wrong.
Coffeezilla, take a chill pill, brother.
So y'all just rug pulled a bunch of people.
No, there's no rug. We're here every single day. There's no rug pulled, and it's not done by us. Yes, snipers sniped it up to an insane market cap.
No, it's not just snipers.
That was not us. Listen,
you know that.
Listen, no. I'm telling you the truth.
And y'all made millions on fees from this little scheme.
After the conversation became heated and Coffeezilla was asking all the right questions with no response from Hayley's team, he left the space and was not let back in. But another crypto person by the name of Nick O'Neill asked them the same questions to try and get a clear answer. But Hayley decided to respond with one of the most iconic and comedic ways possible.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Well, hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I guess we're talking over here.
This was really one of the last lines heard by Welch, and she disappeared for a while without any news about her or the project. Even her X account got banned. A class action lawsuit soon followed, filed in federal court. It targeted Over Here, the developer Doc, and the Cayman Islands Foundation called Tuah to the Moon. Hayley herself wasn't named in the suit, but she quickly released a statement saying she was cooperating with the victim's legal team. But then came a surprising twist. In March of 2025, the SEC officially closed its investigation. No charges, no fines, no restrictions, and Hayley walked away legally clean. She returned to her podcast and admitted she didn't fully understand what she was getting into, that she trusted the wrong people, and she regretted how it all went down. Haley had to deal with the consequences of her actions, and as a young girl with no experience in public backlash and internet hate, it was definitely hard for her. But for Logan Paul, nothing fazed him. He didn't disappear, never admitted to anything, and is still going bigger than ever. The Coffeezilla vs Logan Paul incident was one of the longest and biggest cases Coffeezilla had to go through, with 7 videos being made about the scam that combined have over 40 million views. In 2021, Logan Paul announced what he called his biggest project yet, CryptoZoo, a blockchain game he promised would be a really fun game that makes you money.
The thing that I'm most excited for, and this is the first time I've ever said anything about this, for the last 6 months I've been working on my own NFT project. I think there needs to be a fresh take, and this project that I have is that fresh take. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
The idea was simple. Players would buy NFT eggs, hatch them into bizarre hybrid animals, and earn passive income in the form of zoo tokens just by holding them. Logan pitched it as a play-to-earn game that could rival anything in Web3, and his followers believed him. With Logan's personal guarantee, his own claim of investing over $1 million, and a carefully orchestrated rollout on his impulsive podcast and Twitter,
we have a massive team behind it and are probably out of pocket like $1 million. Just because we believe it's gonna work.
But what seemed like the next big thing quickly turned into one of the most infamous influencer scams of all time. The investigation that Coffeezilla conducted is one of the most deep dives he has done, and it even took Coffeezilla himself 7 videos to conduct it, so I will leave the fine details for him. But in general, CryptoZoo was promoted by Logan as the next biggest thing to happen in the crypto space, hyped up every aspect of the project from the game itself to the tokens and the eggs, as well as the hatched and hybrid animal characters you get, but in reality, none of that happened. The game was never finished, and the characters they claimed were hand-drawn by expert artists turned out to be just stock images merged together.
And come to find out, this handmade art story wasn't really true. It was actually Adobe stock photos mashed together. This was the sort of first red flag of this project.
Even worse, Coffeezilla's analysis of blockchain data showed that wallets tied to Logan's team sold a huge amount of zoo tokens right after launch. Logan Paul himself didn't sell his tokens, but those around him did. And suddenly, the project went quiet. No updates, no news, and complete silence. By May 2022, investors were left in the dark, desperately trying to get answers. All of this led to heated back and forth confrontations between Logan Paul and Coffeezilla, with Logan threatening to sue, Coffeezilla going deeper into his investigations, and even pushing Logan to delete his initial response and issue an apology and a refund plan of $2.3 million.
Coffeezilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire, an ego, flare, whatever it is, pride. I'm a fighter at heart, and I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone with this project. I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in.
But even that came with strings attached. Logan announced a $2.3 million buyback plan, promising to reimburse anyone who bought a CryptoZoo egg. But to receive the fund, users had to waive the right to sue. Some accepted, but others didn't. Today, CryptoZoo's website is not active, there's still no game, the token is worthless, and any hope in the project from Logan's fans or investors is gone. And even Logan himself shifted his focus elsewhere, mainly to Prime, Lunchley, and WWE. Now moving on, but not that far away, we go to Logan Paul's own brother, Jake Paul. Similar to Logan, Coffeezilla and Jake Paul have a history together, although much less detailed and involving less legal battles, but still, Coffeezilla has exposed Jake Paul's crypto scams many times over the course of his investigations. But the specific project we'll be talking about today is Anymoon. In 2022, Anymoon emerged with big promises and an even bigger lie. It was presented as an exclusive NFT collection inspired by Pokemon, tied to an upcoming play-to-earn blockchain game. The creators claimed official licensing from Pokemon and even boasted about a signed NDA with the Pokemon company. But of course, none of that was true. The art was knockoff Pokemon, barely modified, and the promises were outrageous. But the real selling point wasn't the rewards, it was the face attached to it, Jake Paul.
The Anymoon team, it's great to be a part of this project. I love the designs inspired by Pokemon, the whole 9 yards. Me, personally, I'm going to try to get a legendary during the public mint. But y'all better not miss this.
It was pure hype. And for Jake's massive fan base, it worked. Anymoon sold out its collection in short order, netting roughly $6.3 million from public mints, but it didn't take long for the truth to surface. None of the promised rewards were ever delivered. No trips, no game, not even the $2,500 monthly payments. Investors were left holding nothing but cheap digital images and broken promises. Blockchain investigators like ZachXBT found that the Ethereum wallets tied to the project had already moved the $6.3 million to personal accounts. It was 100% a textbook rug pull. Jake Paul also went silent. He never followed up, never acknowledged the failure. He simply deleted mentions of Anymoon and moved on, hoping everyone else would forget too. For Anymoon, Jake Paul went scratch-free. He wasn't charged or even sued, but his role in SafeMoon promotion landed him a $400,000 SEC fine, and his name was included in a class action lawsuit tied to that case. The Anemoon NFTs now are worthless. The promised game never existed, and the $6.3 million are gone. The trend with famous influencers pumping and dumping crypto coins seems to be pretty profitable, and most importantly, free of consequences, because even KSI wasn't exempt from trying to secure a bag of his own.
KSI is one of the world's most popular YouTubers, but yesterday he accidentally exposed the pump and dump crypto scams that he promoted. They've been hidden for 2 years, but only came out when KSI logged back into his old Twitter account, saying, "Does this still work?"
Which caught the attention of Zach XPT, a respected crypto investigator. Immediately, Zach replied with a warning that KSI might start sharing garbage again, referencing past incidents. Zach was waiting for KSI to return into the space to expose his pump and dump schemes, and he had all the proof for that, with the first one being XCAD.
Remember when KSI posted this? "All of a sudden, my XCAD bag is looking juicy again." Hodl Gang then proceeded to dump $850,000 worth of XCAD over the following days from his wallet address.
When Coffeezilla confronted KSI on Twitter, he replied to him saying that he's still holding, and he only sold to take profits and move on to other projects, which doesn't deny the fact that he pumped the coin in his tweet, then dumped when the price increased. Even if he still holds the coin, he did dump a huge part of it, making money in the process. And that wasn't it. KSI was also involved in 2 projects Mrbeast was accused of pumping and dumping, Super and Earn. And based on what we discussed earlier, we all know what happened with those 2 projects. They went bust, and for KSI, he was charged with fraud, went to jail, and paid a very big fee. Or at least, you would hope that would happen. He just moved on, with no legal actions and no repercussions. It seems like the norm for these influencers. They promote scams, make a ton of money, get exposed, and still walk out unharmed. Let's be thankful that we have Coffeezilla at least to lead the investigations, even though the majority of the public still fall for these scams. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe.